This video shows how the demand for your skilled resources can be dynamically managed with Innate's resource management software. We will take a look at how to react as changes in demand arrive, depending on what priority you have. This view shows three different panes. At the top is the resource planning view, where the demand for the new project is shown in heads per month. This has been layered on top of the demand across three other programs. You can also see we've got a work breakdown structure defined here of program, project, and team. And that means that we can expand the plan for the new project and see what the loadings are, the demand is on each of those four teams. Now the middle pane takes a look at the subtotals of demand on each of the teams, accountants, analysts, and such like. And there are two rows of figures. If you see here for analysts, the top row is looking at the availability, and that's showing that there are 4 resources in the analyst team. And then the row underneath it is showing the work. And you'll see here the work is color-coded, so that when demand exceeds availability, the cell goes red. When demand is very much lower than availability, the cell remains green, and what we're really aiming for is an amber cell there, which will show more than 90% utilization. And then the bottom pane here is just a graphical representation of those figures, so that we can see here for the analysts, we've got the demand, and where it exceeds the availability of 4, things go red. Now, we've introduced the new project with the start date of the 1st of February, and it's that is causing this bottleneck. If this is a low priority project, then one of the things that we can do is to start moving this in time or dragging it and seeing by how much we have to delay it in order to get an acceptable demand on all of the teams. And the way we do that is that we convert this resource planning view into a Gantt chart view, and we just click that button there to do that. And what we can now do is to pick up this bar and start dragging it out in time. And as we do that, you'll see that the numbers and indeed the colors of the cell change as we go. And when we get to around about the middle of March, we see that we've lost all of the red there, so there is no bottleneck on the analysts. And indeed, for those 2 months of February and March, we've got pretty high utilization reflected by the amber coloring in the cells, where we're getting a demand of 3.9 out of 4. So that's what we can do if the project is fairly low priority. But what if it's fairly high priority and we really can't do that on the start date? So if we put this back where it was, starting off there at the beginning of February, what we can now do is to take a look and identify other projects of lower priority and see by how much we would need to delay those. Now I think I'd want to do this in a scenario, not on the live data. So behind the scenes we have created a scenario, because if I now open up the BAU program, I can see there are a number of projects there, all of which represent committed work. And if I'm going to start moving this around in time, I may well want to just abandon what I'm doing if I don't like it. So let's pick up Project Mexico. Let's assume that's a fairly low priority project, and we can now see by how much we need to delay that. So we pick that up and drag that out. We can see that if we take that out towards the end of February, then we get a pattern that's acceptable. So you can see here there are a couple of ways in which the Innate software can help you to respond as changes in demand arrive, enabling you to position lower priority work so as to avoid overloads, but maximizing the utilization of each team. That can also be the utilization of each team member, because we've got a little organizational structure down here, and if I click on the analysts, we can now see what the loading is on each of our team members, and indeed how much here is still outstanding demand that's yet to be assigned out. So I hope you found that a useful introduction. Please do explore the website and let us know if you have any questions that we can help.